Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel on data engineering. In today's video, we'll be seeing how to create a table and how to insert values into the table. And then we'll be performing some SQL operations on the created table. And we'll be seeing how the different constraints work on the table. So before that, we'll be knowing what are the different database constraints we have. And then we'll be moving on with the creating a table and inserting values in PostgreSQL. So let's see what are the important constraints we have first. So we have the not null, check, unique, primary key, foreign key, and default constraints. So these are the important constraints we use in a day-to-day scenarios. So what are these database constraints? So these are nothing but the rules that are enforced on a table columns to ensure the accuracy and consistency. So what is the main purpose of using database constraints? So why do we need to use these constraints? So some of the important reasons are we need to have better data integrity, so that ensures the accuracy and reliability of the data, and for preventing any errors, like it avoids any invalid or duplicated entries into your table. And we add constraints to improve the query performance. Let's say there are certain constraints like unique, not null, or primary key. So these kind of constraints, they create indexes so we can speed up the query search. Like when you type a query and when you want to search some particular information, with the help of these constraints, the search process becomes even more easier and it is even more faster. And within your database you have multiple tables, right? So to create a relationship between these multiple tables, you need to add constraints like primary key, foreign key. So these constraints will help you join multiple tables. So these are the uses of adding a constraints, and these are very important when you create multiple tables in your database. So now let's start understanding one by one, starting with the first one, the not null constraint. So the not null constraint means that it ensures that a column cannot have null values, and it is used for mandatory fields. So let's say this simple example, employees table. So in the employees table, for the first name and last name, here I have given not null. So this not null makes sure that your column doesn't have any empty value and there is some value to it. Prevents any assigning any empty values to your column. So now moving on to the next one, the unique constraint. So this unique constraint ensures that all the values in your column are unique and they are not repeated and there are no duplicated values. So again, here for the email column, I have given unique. So this makes sure that every employee is having a unique email ID. Now moving on to the next constraint, the primary key constraint. So the primary key constraint is one of the most important constraints in among all the constraints. So this constraint is used on a particular column where you want to uniquely identify each record in your table. And this primary key constraint is also a combination of not null and unique. So let's say, so here for the department ID, here I'm giving primary key. So this means that with the help of this department ID, you can uniquely identify each record in your table. Now coming on to the next constraint, that is a foreign key constraint. So this foreign key constraint is nothing but it establishes a relationship between the two tables. Like it is used to join multiple tables. With the help of this foreign key constraint, we can do that. So let's understand this with an example. So here I have given a foreign key constraint on the department ID. So here I want to join this, let's say this departments table and this employees table. Now I want to join these two tables. So with the help of department ID, I'll be joining these two tables. So if you notice here, you can see the department ID in the departments table, and you can see a department ID in the employees table as well. You'll be joining this both the tables with the department ID. Within the foreign key argument, I'll be giving the column name, that is this name, the department ID, and references. And here I have to give the table name and column name to which I'll be referring to. So here I am referring it to the departments table and I'm referring it to the department ID column. So I'll be giving those arguments here. So this makes sure that it combines the departments table and employees table on the department ID. Why do we need to join these two tables? So, as the definition itself says that it establishes a relationship between two tables, right? So, when you have any common information between the two tables, you use the foreign key and you join these two tables. So, with that, you can query your information from that. Now, let's move on to the next constraint. That is a check constraint. This check constraint ensures that the values in a column meet a specific requirement. So, let's understand this with an example. So here you have a salary column within your employees table. So here for the salary column, the data type is numeric. And here I have given the arguments as 10, comma 2. So this 10 is nothing but the total number of digits for your number. And 2 is nothing but the number of digits after your decimal place. So here I'm applying a check constraint on the numeric data type. So and the salary column. So this check constraint ensures that the salary is always greater than zero. Salary can't be in negative numbers, right? So in order to check for that, you apply a check constraint and you give your salary is greater than zero. So this makes sure that your salary is greater than zero and it doesn't take any negative values. And again, here for the age, I'm giving a check constraint again. So, and the age should be greater than or equal to 18, and the age is less than or equal to 65. So, this particular column takes only ages between 18 and 65. So, this check constraint makes sure that the ages are between 18 and 65. Now, coming on to the next one, the default constraint. When given this default constraint to your column name when creating a table, it ensures that even though if you don't provide any value when you insert values, it provides a default value to it. Instead of leaving the column empty or instead of leaving the column null, default date is printed when you give a default constraint to your column name. Now coming on to the next constraint, the auto increment constraint. So it automatically generates a unique value for each row, and it is often used with the primary key columns. So what happens is when you give a serial in your along with the primary key, when you see your query result, you can see that there is an auto-generated number on the left side of your query result, which uniquely identifies each record in your table. Now we understood what are the different database constraints we have in SQL. Now let's see how to create a table and insert values into it. Then we'll apply all these constraints on those tables and we'll understand even better. Okay, I'll be doing this in PostgreSQL. So let's open PostgreSQL. For this tutorial, I'll be using a simple scenario. So let's say you have your own company, or if you're starting an own company and you want to hire your employees and you have different departments for your company. So for this, I have created a database called company. So in the company, go to schemas and then navigate to your tables. So if you have seen my last video, I have shown how to create table and how to import values using a CSV file in the user interface. So for this example, I'll be using a query tool to create and insert values. So just right click on your table and you can see a query tool. Yeah. So once the query tool is open, you can type in all your queries here and you can select them and run here. And you can see your query results here. And you can go and check your query history where you have previously entered all your queries. You can find them in the query history. So for now, now as I said, I have a company or I am starting a new company. And now within the company, I have different departments and different tables. So I'll be creating two tables and I'll be showing you how to insert values into it and perform some different SQL operations on that. So let's create a table. So first I'll create a table department. Let's say create table department, and that is a table name. So within the table name, I have to give the column name and their data types. So for the department, I'll be having the department ID. So department ID, and the department ID, it will be a serial primary key. So this primary key is nothing but it uniquely identifies each row in your table. Let's say I have a department name. So I'm using a short form, say DEP. So DEP is used as a department. So department name. So department name can be in varchar, and I'm giving the length of characters to be 50. So it can take up to 50 characters. Okay, for now, let's just create these two columns and just run it and check. So you can see the table has been created successfully. Let's see how the table structure looks like. So for that, I'll select all from the table name, department. So this asterisk is nothing but like a wildcard which selects all your columns from your table, and from is a keyword that is used to select from which table you are querying the data. Now I'll select this and just run. Now you can see that here I have created department ID, and that is a primary key, and a department name that is character varying. Now let's insert values into our table. For that, just give an insert into. So here you have to give your table name. So that is a department. Yeah. Within your department, that is a table name. You have to give the column names. So that is the department ID and the department name. Now you have to give the values. Let's say the department ID is 101, and the department name, let's say it is say HR department. Let's say 102. This would be say engineering. Here you have to give a comma. Let's say I have one more. Let's say I have one more department. Say 103, and I will name it say marketing. Here I have created three different department names: HR, engineering, and marketing. So let's insert these values into the department table. Let's run this. Yeah, you can see that query has returned successfully. Now let's select this and run it again. Yeah, now you can see that I have department ID, and I have three different unique numbers to the department ID since it's a primary key. And here I have the department name, that is a HR, engineering, and marketing. So if you observe these three, 1, 2, and 3, so these three are nothing but the auto-generated numbers, that is with the help of the serial keyword. So this makes sure that you get auto-incremented numbers for each record in your table. So now let's create a second table, and then we'll try to build a relationship between two tables. Now I have a department table in my company. Now let's say I started to hire new employees, and I want to store their information. So for that, I'll be creating an employees table. So just I'll give a create table, and I'll be giving the employees. Again, so within your employees table, you'll be giving all your column names. Say employee ID. Again, it would be serial. Let's say primary key. Again, employee name. Again, it would be in a care. Let's say the length is around 50. Let's say we give a column for salary. Salary, it is all in numeric, so in numeric. Again, here I'll give the number of digits to be 8 and the decimal places to be 2. And here I'll be applying a check constraint. So if you check salary is, so this makes sure that the salary is greater than a 0 and it is a positive number. Yeah, for now, let's just create these three columns within the table. Yeah, so I have successfully created a table. Now let's insert values into the employees table. Insert into the table name. Here you have to give all your column names. That is the employee ID, then the employee name, and then the salary. So here I'll be giving the values. Let's say the employee ID is 1. Let's say the employee name is Neeraj. And let's say his salary is say 70,000. Now I have inserted just one value. So let's import one more value. Uh, let's say the second employee is 2. Let's say his name is Ashish. And let's say his salary is 80,000. Let's import one more value. Let's say his ID is 3. Let's say his name is Megha. And his salary is say 1 lakh. Yeah, let's say his salary. Okay, let's say his salary is 1 lakh. Okay, so here you have to give comma, and you have to end this. Now let's run this and check. Now let's see how the employees table looks like. For that, just select again all from employees table. Just run this and check. Yeah, so here I have the employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Now let's understand how to add constraints to the table. So in my employees table, I have my employee name. Now I want to make sure that the column is always not null. So I need to add not null constraint. So to add a not null constraint, we need to alter the table. So for that, I'll use an alter keyword and I have to give alter table, then the table name. After you alter table, then you have to give the alter column for which you are modifying the column. So here you have to give your column name, that is the employee name. So now you can just set this column to not null. So this sets the employee name column to not null. So let's run this and check. Yeah, so the query has returned successfully. And now this constraint makes sure that you can't give any null value to your column. So let's insert a new value and let's check if this constraint is working or not. So for the employees table, I'll just copy this. Okay, let's say I'll be adding a new column. I'll just delete these three. Let's say I'll be adding new values to the column. Let's say I'll be adding a fourth employee and I'll not give any employee name. Let's see how this works. Okay. Let's say I've given a salary of 1 lakh and here I'm not giving any employee's name. Let's see if this works or not. So yeah, so you can see that there is a not null constraint. So here I haven't given any value to my employee name, so it returned a not null constraint. So by this we can confirm that you have given the constraint to the particular column. So if you just add the employee name and you should just give a name to it, I'll just say, okay. Now let's see if this works or not. Yeah, now you can see that the query has returned successfully and let's run this and check. Yeah, now you can see there are 4 employees and you can see the employee name and respective salaries. So this is how you apply a not null constraint. Now let's see how to update values in the table. Now let's say it's been an year and you want to give a hike to your employees. So you want to update your salary information. So to update your information within your columns, you need to use the update keyword. So you'll use the update and you'll be selecting the table name, that is the employees. So you have to set the column name to which you want to update your value. So I'll use the set keyword, set. I'll be setting the salary, say salary to 2 lakhs. Yeah, I'll be applying a condition to which particular employee I want to give a hike. So here I'll be giving the where. So where I'll be giving the employee name, or it's better to give the employee ID since it is a unique identifier of each record. So I'll be giving the employee ID and I'll be giving it as say 4. So now what this does is it updates the salary to 2 lakhs for this employee ID 4. Let's see if this works or not. Now we can see the query returned successfully. So let's select the employees table again. Yeah, now you can see that for the employee named Lahiri, you can see that the salary is 2 lakhs. So this is how you update your tables information. This is the end of the video. So in this video, I have covered what are the important database constraints we have. And then I have shown you how to create and insert values in a table. And I've also shown you how to use the alter query to add a new constraint to your table. And I have also shown you how to update your tables information. So yeah. So in the next video, I'll be explaining how to establish a relationship between two tables, like using the foreign keys. And we'll be also seeing different SQL operations like update, drop constraints, how to delete your values from the table, etc. So all these SQL operations we'll be seeing in the next video. So thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, please ask them in the comment section. Thank you.